If trying harder worked, you'd already be done. You would have the habits. You'd have the follow through. You would not be starting over again every Monday. If you've been trying to change something for years and it keeps collapsing, today we're going to talk about why. Not from a motivation angle, but from a nervous system and biology angle. Because the issue is not that you are weak. It's that you have been trying to build change on top of a system that is already overloaded. Now, this applies to any kind of change. It applies to your health habits, emotional eating, drinking more than you want to, scrolling, especially at night when you should be sleeping, burnout at work, relationships that feel misaligned, wanting more clarity, more peace, more stability for your life. Now, most people follow the same cycle again and again. They decide what they should do, then they apply willpower and discipline. Right? They add pressure and criticism to hopefully increase the odds, right? They might start strong, but then they stall. And when it falls apart, the brain collects that as evidence that you aren't capable of change, evidence that something is wrong with you. That's where people get stuck. Not because they lack desire, but because repeated collapse, it narrows what feels possible. 15 or so years ago, I was trying to change everything all at once. My eating, my career, my relationships, my body, my self-worth. And I thought if I could just be more disciplined, I'd finally get there. The effort was there. The follow-through was not. What I didn't understand at the time was this: willpower and force undermine the very conditions that are required for change. Real change requires 3 conditions. First of all, a nervous system that is not stuck in stress or overwhelm, the energy to follow through, and an approach that respects your capacity. If any of these are missing, your effort will collapse again and again. So let's briefly walk through each of these. Number 1, the nervous system state. Your nervous system determines which version of you shows up. When you're regulated and resourced, you can pause. You can feel discomfort without immediately escaping it. You can notice an urge without being driven by it. When you're stressed or overwhelmed, the survival system takes over, and the message is very simple: get relief now. In that state, change feels threatening, even when it might be positive overall. Because your system is not asking, is this good for me? It's asking, can I handle this right now? And no amount of willpower can override that calculation. The second condition for change is energy. Energy is biological fuel. It's not motivation. Chronic stress, poor sleep, emotional load, long-term bracing, it depletes your energy at the cellular level. And when your energy is low, everything costs more. Right? Starting again feels monumental. In that moment when you say, I know what I want to do, I just can't make myself do it, that's not weakness, it's depletion. You can't extract output from a system that has no fuel. Now, the third element or pillar of change is capacity. And capacity is how much you can hold without tipping into overwhelm. When capacity is low, even small additions feel like too much. Most plans to change, they fail because they increase demand without respecting your capacity. And when change fits within your capacity, it becomes sustainable. When it exceeds your capacity, it collapses. So trying harder increases pressure. Pressure pushes the nervous system into more stress. Stress consumes energy. Low energy shrinks capacity. Low capacity makes change impossible. Then you blame yourself, right? In that loop, it has nothing to do with your character. So if you have been stuck in effort and collapse, that does not prove you're incapable of change. It proves you are missing the conditions that make change possible. So before you try harder again, Pause and ask, is my foundation strong enough to support what I'm asking of myself? The next step is not more discipline. It's restoring your nervous system, rebuilding energy, and scaling change to match your actual capacity. If this resonates, you can download the free introduction to my new book below. It walks through this foundation in more depth. And if this video helped or made you curious, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and pass it along to somebody who needs to hear that they're not the problem, they're the possibility.